radio listeners and the podcast listeners getting the full thing here as we do get the live stream started up now. But we want your all's thoughts in. We want your all's comments in as well here on the Ticket Puncher Show. Curtis, we'll start with you. How are you doing today, my man? How was your evening last night? How's your day been so far? What's the realm of Philly picks looking like today?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful day. We did catch our play, Big X play of the day last night.
First official Philly picks pop goes 1-0 last night. Of course, my ticket that I wanted to punch last night on my first official prop given out on the show doesn't hit. Unfortunately, Carlos Rodon gets smacked around early. Didn't think that would happen. Yankees do battle back and get the win, but we do have a winning pick yesterday. We've got a loser as well. So Curtis moves to 1-0. I moved to 7-7 in the month of October. Back down to even, fellas. We've got to get that back up. I was doing a lot of digging last night in the lab, so we're going to get that back. Glad to hear you're doing well, Curtis. We got to be quick, though. We have to get right into it. I don't mean to cut you off. We got to get right to JR as well. JR, how's your evening last night? How's your day been so far? How are you doing, my man?
Last night's great. Today's even better. Just at home with the girls and cut the grass. Couldn't be a better day.
Getting jobs done, getting things done, doing some fathering you all, I'm sure, here at this time of day as well when it gets to that evening start. But that also is the time when the sports are starting up. We've got something live right now. Milwaukee Brewers, Chicago Cubs. I don't have a score update for us right this second, but we're maybe going to look into that game, maybe see if we get some live bet action. Looks like we've got 1-1 the Brewers, Cubs. So we'll stay tuned into that, see if Philly's washing any lines for us. But I'm glad you guys are doing well today, fellas. Sorry here. Excited to get this second show out for everybody, and it's time to get some more picks out. Philly, we'll start with your pick last night since we've got some picks to review here. You had we'll let the listeners know.
Yeah, so I was on Blue Jays team total over 3.5. I thought Carlos Rodon was going to give up at least 2, which he did more than that. And then also, if he gave up about maybe 1 or 0, then that bullpen was going to erupt. So, but yeah, Blue Jays ended up getting 2 in the first inning. They went over 3.5 in that third inning. So this is a pretty early cash. So that felt pretty good.
Feels great cashing early like that. That is one of the fun things of betting baseball when you bet the team props and it's an over, right? You have the chance of hitting super early if some things can happen. That's why they say technically betting overs is a little bit more fun because you're hoping some excitement happens versus unders. You're hoping there is no excitement, right? But we do cash that here on the Ticket Punchers early. Philly picks moves up to 1-0. JR, we have some line movement going on. You gave a prop out for tonight. We're going to get into more talk on that prop and just some more specifics. Obviously, it was a WNBA play, but you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the play last night was Las Vegas Aces plus 3.5 at -104 was Tuesday's pick. As of today, it's been updated. Now it's plus 4.5 at -115. You know me. This team is a championship caliber team. They're 2-0 heading to Phoenix. The money line for Phoenix has, drawn down a little bit more, but I still believe in taking the points, man. If you're going to give me 5 points for a championship caliber team who's up 2-0, I'm gonna still take it. So, if you want to adjust from the 3.5 from yesterday to the 4.5 today, I feel like that is a solid play. That's 5 points on the head. So,
yeah, and
I love
it. The Aces I saw, I was doing a little bit of digging, just trying to see if I could figure some things out. Obviously, you get pretty good odds when it's finals matchups because it's even teams, guys. Yeah. It's not like there's the player props for this team are a lot more likely because they're this heavy favorite. That doesn't really exist when you have these close matchups, especially in the WNBA. Yeah. I saw some digging. The Aces are, they don't let up on the road. They play defend just as hard on the road. Obviously, a lot of offenses tend to slow down. I don't think the Mercury get enough of a jump in their defensive efficiency at home. The 3-point shooting numbers do go up a bit. Obviously, I don't have anything written down. I was just doing a little bit of reading quickly earlier. So the Aces, I'm feeling they're going to keep this game close. They defend just as good on the road as they do at home, and they were able to get the job done at home. Philly, were you looking into the WNBA at all? Any picks, any props, or any lines you were potentially looking at for tonight?
Yeah, so honestly, I haven't really looked into WNBA for really most of this year. So I'm out on really any opinions.
Out on the WNBA, yeah. We'll keep it with the guys that we know what we are looking at and reading. But Philly, you are an avid MLB guy. How are we feeling about the Brewers Chicago game right now? I mean, Chicago fighting for their lives, trying to avoid this sweep right now. Bases loaded, it looks like here. Trying to make something happen. Who is your pick in this game? Obviously, you're not, you have picks personally that aren't necessarily picks that you're betting, but you typically always have a pick or a lean for any MLB matchup. Who did you like in this one today?
So I didn't choose a side, a total, but I did take Quinn Priester over 1.5 earned runs allowed in this game. So that's the Brewers pitcher. I heard y'all say it was 1-1, so I'm guessing he gave up. Hopefully that was an earned run and not a unearned
error
run.
or something. Yeah.
So we're hoping he gets at least one more, earned run if that's true to this point. But I had those odds at plus 107 on DraftKings this morning. So hopefully that comes through for us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, maybe you can get it live still. Not sure if you can. But
Tigers up big on the Mariners. I did not see this coming, honestly. I thought with the Bryce Miller matchup going up against Casey Mize, I thought that, I knew it's going to be a short lease. Casey was starting the deal kind of how you expected, but Bryce Miller not really. I mean, he 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, no walks. That's not good enough in a playoff game, fellas. Even when you're the team that's it's not a win or go home situation for you. You're getting pulled. You're trying to end this, give yourself the upper hand here. So. I was surprised to see them both get pulled early. Obviously, for the Tigers, Casey was doing his thing. I thought they would let Miller get out of that 5th, but they didn't. Bullpen comes in, and the bullpen started getting smacked around quickly for the Mariners, looking like the Tigers are about to even this series up. Did you have a pick for that game, Curtis?
So I know you was on the under. I started doing some digging a little bit later, and
I had the first 4.
Yeah, probably about an hour before the game, I jumped on that over 4.5 runs, and it ended up cashing the bottom of the 5th. It wasn't looking so good through. Honestly,
I thought I had it.
No, yeah, I know that.
Thought I had it. It was 1-1 going into the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah.
Or the top of the 5th. I'm sorry. It's 1-1 going to the top of the 5th. Seattle gets 1, makes it 3-0, and then Detroit answers back quickly there in that bottom of the 5th inning, getting 3 runs across. Glad we have one, somebody on the over and under on the play right there. Glad that somebody's making money on that one. We always like that here on the Ticket Punchers. But fellas, we've got a little bit we can look into tonight. Obviously, we've got the Blue Jays and Yankees, 7:08 p.m. tonight. Cam Schlitter on the mound. Do you think momentum carries over? Has kind of been the question mark on that game. The Blue Jays looking like they're going to potentially have a bullpen game right here, which is really surprising me that they're putting a bullpen matchup against Cam Schlitter when he just did what he did in his last outing. Definitely had some growing up that seeming like he did last week as well. So I was surprised to see that. But we're going to get a little bit of a talk right at the end of the show out on some MLB because we've got some things to bet tonight as well. JR, I was looking at some things in the NFL this weekend. Fellas, I want to get both of your takes on a couple of lines. The Panthers DBs are pretty good. They're going up against Dallas. DJ Horn, he's been shutting some things down this year on some of these receivers, right? This Dak, this offense, though, they're the number 3 rated offense in the NFL right now in terms of EPA, assisted points added, and expected points added. I'm sorry. Top 4 worst defense in the league, which is just funny that they're really the best, one of the best offense, one of the worst defenses, but they're going up against a not necessarily good defense in the Panthers, but a good secondary in the Panthers. I mean, they can get some pressures as well on that front. But they're the way that Dak and Jake Ferguson have been playing, that chemistry.
Yeah.
With DJ Horn guarding Pickens, fellas, I know Pickens has been cutting up this season. I'm looking at Jake Ferguson's lines in this game, his potential yards in this game. I have a really, really weird feeling that, Panthers are going to probably do a pretty good job of shutting the run game down a little bit. They're going to have Pickens on DJ Horn on Pickens. I would imagine he's able to limit him going crazy. Dak's going to be all over Jake Ferguson in this game. Can't get any lines anymore for some reason. It looks like they've been pulled on FanDuel. I'll have to see if DraftKings is have some available for me if you can find any, JR.
Just for Ferguson?
Yeah, Jake Ferguson receiving. I mean, imagine the 40+ is looking pretty good right now.
Let's take a look here.
Another game I wanted to ask you guys about, another prop that I'm potentially going to be on this weekend. It's an interesting one for sure, but Giants-Eagles with no Neighbors, no Slayton, and a Jackson Dart who's been very confident already in the beginning of his early NFL career. I'm looking at a certain player in this game, and that's Theo Johnson. Him and Dart have already shown that they've got really great chemistry. Dart's already locked onto him heavily. Obviously, there's no Neighbors, there's no Slayton, and they're going up against this Eagles front where they're going to be trying to get the ball out quick. Every time Jackson Dart has to throw it, he's probably going to be having somebody in his face. You guys know what that means. The in and out routes for the tight end, the dump offs to the tight end on the curl routes. I think that Theo Johnson is just going to be even more incorporated into this offense with Jackson Dart. His 30-plus yards is sitting at a -102 right now. That's an even line. Really, really good money right there for the Theo Johnson 30-plus. When you don't have a Malik Neighbors, you don't have a Darius Slayton to throw to. He's kind of been his go-to, fellas. So yeah. I'd imagine that it's only even more targets for Theo Johnson this Saturday going up against the Eagles defense. They're going to be – I
actually have Dart and I just picked up Theo Johnson, I believe, last night in fantasy. So
really?
Yep. So
that's a nice pickup.
Oh yeah.
Love to hear that.
Especially with him coming off of 2 touchdowns. So pretty solid.
So I'm just looking at this Thursday night football slate, fellas. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm leaning the Theo Johnson yards there. Maybe we look at his first quarter or first half yards as well. The thing is, though, if Eagles get to an early lead, you got to throw the ball, right? You got to get downfield. You can't waste time in that second half if you're down a couple scores, which you got to imagine 7.5-point favorites. There's a potential back and forth game here. It isn't a really, really low over at 40.5, but I'm the most. I hate the totals on Thursday night football, fellas. I get superstitious with Thursday night football.
Whatever you bet, it'll go opposite.
They get weird Thursday.
It always gets weird. Always gets weird. So it's almost like
I was going to say
the props, but go ahead, JR.
I do think that Philly is going to go back to their true identity, which I do think that they're going to try to pound the rock with Saquon, coming off of what do you have, 6-7 carries?
6 carries.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's probably somewhere in his career low spectrum of all time. But yeah, so I do think Saquon's going to have a day. I was looking at his yards, 80, 83 for passing and receiving, which I think, that combination is one of the lowest that I've seen in a long time. But I do think it's going to be lower scoring. The other thing to look out for is Jackson Dart coming off of, where he tweaked that hamstring in the last game, just how mobile he's going to be, things like that. So, but other than that, like I love the Theo Johnson line. I love Saquon's lines, and leaning towards definitely taking the under. I don't think New York is going to have enough firepower to put up 20 points on Philly, but I do think Philly's going to be trying to prove, to the world that,
we're serious still.
Exactly. That they're the Super Bowl champs still, and that they're not going to drop 2 in a row, but also just have an identity this game, not try to force the ball downfield with deep passes just because, the world wants to see you pass it. Run the ball with Saquon, let him open up everything else.
Before we get to some more MLB and NFL talk here, fellas, I got to ask you guys, because obviously we're going to discuss everything on the show. It's not going to be just picks. Did you guys see the potential news the news that came out for the potential change with NCAA athletes and staff members that they're going to be able to potentially, if it gets voted on and everything gets approved, bet on professional sports?
Oh,
college athletes. Let's see what you guys can find here on X or Google. I've already seen it, but college athletes are, if it gets voted on, and all 3 levels of college athletics, Division 1s, 2, and 3, have to approve this, the board members and stuff, but they're going to potentially let college athletes and coaching staff members for athletic programs bet on professional sports.
That's very interesting.
It's potential. I don't think it happens because, you think of the immediate, like, just think, your Boise State, you everybody on the staff, on the team, not everybody because of the transfer portal and just the roster construction these days does have a lot of changes year after year, but you're on a team, there's a guy that's been there a couple years, he makes it to the NFL, he's off to a good start or whatever, he's made the official roster, it's week 4, it's week 5, it's week 6, and all of a sudden he's questionable. He's game time decision, his first injury. He's letting his guys know because they're asking because he's still incorporated with his college team and that coaching staff because they love him there. They love that he made the NFL. He's an example of what we're trying to do with our current guys here. And now he's letting players know that are allowed to bet that, hey, I'm going to be out potentially this weekend. Hey, if my knee isn't right, I'm not going to be playing a lot this game. Take my unders. It's asking for the Javonte Porter situation. To on the player side, it's asking for that. On the coaching staff and the staff side of athletics, think about the number of coaches that are like this with another coaching staff or player or somebody on a coaching staff in the NFL.
Yeah,
they hang out with each other. They talk to each other. They make phone calls. They are colleagues. There's a lot of colleagues between NCAA and NFL football, even if it's not direct. Yeah. Bad sign. There's no way this gets approved. Just because
that's exactly the point I was gonna make.
It's almost like we take 2 steps forward, then 3 steps back. Like that, that is just even to propose something like this is just asking for, yearly trouble. If we haven't learned anything of the last 2 years of it already increasingly, spiking.
Right.
Man, that's
wouldn't like it. I think you're absolutely, Mike Rutherford mentioned it in his show just in the last hour. Pandora's box you're opening up there. Yeah. So that's not.
Speaking of NFL, what do y'all think about Flacco to the Bengals?
Flacco to the Bengals.
I love it, man.
He's playing on every team in that division except for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Only a matter of time, right? JR, I'll let you, give your take on this because you're in tune with the statistical things on the side.
Yeah, coaching decision has already come out saying that he will be the starter this week. If he knows the plays or not, I guess he'll have to play Madden all week and try to figure out just how to throw the ball to number one. It's not too hard.
Don't they play the Packers?
Yeah. Is it the Packers? Yeah, the Packers. But so I did see this on X as well. He has the ability to do something very interesting, to be the only quarterback in history to beat a team in one season with 2 different teams. He beat them with Cleveland. He beat them with Cleveland. Now he's going to Cincy week 1. If he beats the Packers, he'll make history by beating them twice with 2 different teams in one season. That's incredible. So I'm rooting for Flacco, former Raven. So let's get it done, Flack.
Maybe a Beagle's money on Sprinkle.
Yeah. Oh, well, I definitely love his 2 touchdowns when you got, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown, rolling. The offense is enough. With his mobility, it kind of scares me a little bit. But their defense has been, holding true. So, if their defense can get them some stops, I think Flacco can make some magic happen and at least throw, a couple dingers in there for Chase and T.
Yep. That's my thing is that, Jake Browning at the end of the day, Flacco's better pre-snap. Flacco's better at reading defenses. Flacco's got way better downfield deep throw accuracy.
He slings it.
If a bad O-line, we're trying to get the ball downfield because they don't have a good run game either, fellas. It's who's the most accurate deep thrower we can go get right now, which Jameis Winston still might have been the answer there. Joe Flacco's going to give you better chances to at least keep Jamar Chase and T. Higgins from being
on the trade block.
On the trade block. From demanding some things in the front office, right? Yeah. So I think they're doing what they can. It's tough with that O-line. You can only ask for so much, I feel like, though. Absolutely. Fellas, we've got a text here on our Game Day Men's Health text line. We've also got a comment here in the chat. We're going to get to both of these real fast. We only got about 5, 6, 7 minutes before we get out of here. Texter says, Lazard guy. So you guys don't know this. Lazard, as in Alan Lazard, is this texter's name. We name some of our texters on the text line when they're everyday guys or when something happens that's pretty significant. Yeah. Last season, I don't remember. I get like game 1 or game 2 of the Jets season or was that a full year ago? Did Aaron Rodgers? I think Alan Lazard hit a first touchdown last season with Aaron Rodgers before he went down in game 1 or 2 of that season. This texter was on it heavy that day, on it heavy that night. Lazard wasn't even supposed to be wide receiver 1, I don't think. Yeah. And he hit it. And since that day, he's been Lazard guy on the show. He had a big night the other night, Monday Night Football. He hit Kelsey. He hit a couple things, I believe, on Monday night. But
nice.
He's been big better on the show with us. He says, love A.J. Brown and Devonta overs on their longest reception. Barkley first TD price is silly, so I'll probably be on Devonta plus 1,000 and Dotson plus 5,500.
For
How do we feel about
TD
those?
prop,
For first TD.
prop.
And,
Yeah,
and
I like
Lazard
it.
guy, he's throwing, I don't know what his unit is, but he's throwing $50, $100. You know, sometimes he does it on the no sweat, but he loves the first touchdown props, and he's willing to let some money hang. What do you like, Jay or Curtis?
I'll say that's not a bad look. I mean, we've seen, you know, last week, AJ Brown, you know, saying he needs to get the ball. They did a lot of passing. I do think they'll implement the run a little bit more, but they're still been pushing that pass game the last 2 weeks. So I could see Devontae or AJ, you know, catching one over top.
Definitely getting that long reception. I still think they run the ball more, but
yeah.
I love the long reception. I think on the TD props, they're tricky just because we know that once they get inside that 20-yard red zone, Saquon's going to get it, and Jalen Hurts
at least twice.
Jalen Hurts has been running out of there, and you know they got the most unstoppable play in all of football history with the tushy pushy. So
that's what's so crazy, fellas, is that they'll get into a position where they can get a first down, and it'll make it 1st and goal, and they don't have to score, and it's. That's 4 down opportunities for them. They're going to try to get a 4th and 1
every time.
They're going to push. Now it's 1st and goal on the 4-yard line, and Saquon's getting 2 chances, and Jalen Hurts is getting a chance too.
So I would say Allen Lazard to hedge it. I would definitely take a Jalen Hurts TD anytime, or maybe a Saquon anytime. You know,
I would look at the Goddard Goddard longest reception. I feel like he's been eyeing Goddard every game, early and late. He likes Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard for receptions and for yardage, absolutely. He just, you know, you get into the red zone, they don't really game plan to scheme him open that much.
No. But, you know, to start drives off, they love Goddard. Yep. In the chat, we've got A.A. Brown saying Rico Dowdle is going to chew that Dallas defense up. The Dallas defense, this isn't a chance to be a really, really weird game just because the Dallas defense is so janky. And then the Panthers defense isn't really like all that great either outside of a couple of guys that can make big plays. It should be a really interesting one. Not a whole lot of time before we get out of here, fellas. I do want to get your all's takes. Yeah, go ahead, Curtis. JR.
Shout out AB. That's my best friend. It's first time tuning in, so welcome to the show, brother. But
welcome to the show, AB.
We agree with you. Dowdle should have a day, and I believe that's his running back in fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. So that's probably why he's rooting for him a little bit extra.
Lazard guy.
He kicked my butt last week, so
you got to get
hats off to him.
You'll get your get back later in the season. Lazard guy says, "Oh yeah, I think the run game early up opens the deep stuff later on." That's typically their goal. So that's what we expect to see. Fellas, we only got 2 more minutes before we get out of here. Got to get some picks out. Anything you guys like tonight? JR, obviously, we'll start with you because you got the aces you're on tonight. Anything else you're adding to that +3.5 or +4.5 that you're going to lay on tonight?
Yeah, for the users who didn't get yesterday's +3.5, it's even better today at +4.5 for the Las Vegas Aces. And I do have a kind of spicy one. You know me, I'm not one for unders, but in this Las Vegas game, I do like Asia Wilson's under 24.5 points. In their head-to-head matchups, she's always solid at home, but on the road here recently, she has dropped a few where she's had 21, 19, 18. So I do like this game to be very intense. I think the Phoenix crowd is going to get very involved, and I do think it's going to be a little bit of a slower game, probably 80s, lower 70s, and I do think she goes under 25 points. I think some of her supporting cast step up and score big like they did last game. So
not an official prop here for me, but I'm also on the under total. I like the under total here. I think it's going to be an intense defensive matchup. Not going to give an official Big X Big Bet, but just a lean that I'm on tonight. If you want to tell. Philly, anything you like tonight? Anything you like live right now in these MLB matchups? Obviously, we didn't get any NHL talk, and we didn't announce it to the listeners, fellas. We do got 49 straight days of football starting today. I don't know, Philly, if you were getting any of that tonight. What you like, Philly?
Yeah, so I have a second official play. We're going to the late game in MLB between the Phillies and the Dodgers, and we're creating a little same-game parlay, 2-leg. Yoshinobu Yamamoto to get 7 strikeouts, parlayed with Dodgers team total over 2.5. So Yamamoto has 7+ strikeouts in 6 games. Both Ohtani and Blake Snell had 9 strikeouts each against this Philly squad in this series. The Phillies have the 10th highest strikeout rate versus right-handed pitchers the last 3 weeks. And then obviously the Dodgers, they've been hot. They've scored 3+ runs in 10 straight games. So I love this at -105 at Fanatics.
Love that.
Punch it.
Punch it in, get that in for my official prop, adding to it. I'm on the Dodgers as well tonight, but I'm on the first 5 innings run line. Fellas, they're giving the juice out at minus 0.5, so they got to just hit 1 run in those, have a 1-run lead in those first 5 innings at minus 120 odds.
I love it.
On that. On the Dodgers, like we just said, Aaron Nola has not been good this season. He's let up a lot of runs, especially against the Dodgers. He's had a couple of bad outings. He's going to have an extremely short leash tonight. Plus money on his under 2.5 strikeouts. That's another lean of mine. Not an official Big X big bet. Just another one out there if you want to potentially look at it. It's a low one, but at the same time, if he gets to a run across and 2 or 3 guys on, he's getting pulled if he doesn't get. So he's going to have to get them strikeouts super quickly because he's just not been good against these lineups like this. That's where I'm at. Like I said, Dodgers minus 0.5, first 5 innings. Fellas, one more time, say your picks before we get out of here.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 7+ strikeouts, parlay with Dodgers team total over 2.5.
Yeah, and normally I straight bet it, but we'll do parlayed on the second one. Las Vegas Aces plus 4.5 at minus 115, and Asia Wilson under 24.5 points, minus 105 currently. So parlayed together plus 235 on the ticket.
Punch those tickets in. Punch those tickets in. Get them straight bets in. Lock them in. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been the Ticket Punchers, Philly Picks, J.R. Anderson, Roman Kelly here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. We're going to get back to you all tomorrow, 5:30 to 6. We'll be right back after this.
Let's punch some tickets.
Let's punch some tickets.
I don't know how much longer we continue to ride the Mark Stoops.
Thanks, fellas.
Yes, sir.
You.
Thought that went well. Sorry, I'm rambling. We just got to get straight to it when we start from now on.
Yep. You got to end stream.
Brother.
No. Oh yeah. End stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. Like,
Thanks,
comment,
y'all.
and subscribe if you enjoy.
Punch tickets.
Go punch.